welcome back. If you've been before, if you've not been, please push that subscribe button, push that bell notification if you like what I do, and please give us a thumbs up if you can, guys. That'd be much appreciated. We're going to look back at Manchester City 1, Atletico Madrid 0. I'll take that. Would you? Let me know what you think, but I'm happy with that. I think we can replicate, if not better, that over at their place next week. Of course, it was the first leg of the quarter-final, 8 p.m. kickoff at the Etihad. Yeah, I caught there'll be some images coming up. I caught the unfurling of that blue moon banner quite nicely. I got in there about 10 minutes before, so just about caught that. So that was great to get that. I don't normally condone taking pictures and videos at games, but I do it at the start just for this vlog, and then I put my phone away unless something like a penalty happens or something like that, because I'm not really into that. I like to watch the game, but I basically just for you guys, just for people who want to share this, just to make you feel as though if you're not there, at least it gives you a little bit. Some couple of guys have said that, oh, it's great, Bird. At least it feels as though you're there when you see that, which is great. So I'll put that on there for you. So hope you like it. Right, the team, interesting. Yeah, I got 9 right. I was quite happy with that because obviously Stones has played, Pep's played Stones at sort of right back, or tried him at that sort of right back thing, although he didn't exactly play there all the time. A bit of a funny back line for me. He did play right back sometimes, and Aki played left back, but it just sort of switched and turned based on the fact that Atletico weren't offering much up front, were they? So, yeah, I was quite happy with that Stones, and obviously it was a toss-up between Sterling and Foden anyway, so that didn't surprise me that Sterling came in for Foden. So we had Ederson, Cancelo, Stones, Laporte, Ake, Rodri, Gundogan, KDB, Bernardo, Sterling and Mahrez. Mahrez, of course, usually has good European nights, doesn't he? Perhaps not so much this time. Their team, yeah, forgive my pronunciations, Oblak, Velasquez, Savic, of course, Felipe Mandava, Lodi, Laurenti, Koki, Kondogbia, Griezmann and Felix. So that was their team, yeah. So pretty much what we're used to. Back 5 by the looks of it on the layout of that one, probably. And in charge we have Istvan Kovacs. I'm not going to say too much on him, from Romania. He does like a card, and he sort of proved that last night eventually. It took him a while to get going, but once he did, he never stopped. VAR was Paolo Valeri from Italy. Quickly, match report. It's not going to be a big one this week, is it? It was hard work, especially that first half. 12 minutes, KDB had a block shot quickly, followed by Laporte heading wide from the resultant corner. 18 minutes, yeah, the keeper sort of drops on the ball. It's a little bit of a ping-pong in the box, but their keeper managed to drop on it as it bounced around. I think Gundogan had a half chance, but it never quite fell right. So that was it. That was it, guys, first half. As we tried to bypass 2 lines of 5, which is how Atletico and Simeone played it. No surprise. This is exactly, I think, more or less. I think Pep probably knew how he was going to play it. And I think Pep probably threw a couple of wobblers at Simeone based on what Simeone was saying after the match about his team selection. So that was good. Half time 0-0. We had to do better. I mean, 0-0 taking a 0-0 back there. Not a disaster, but we need at least a goal or 2, don't we? So, hey, let's see what happened in the second half. If you don't know, but you do. 47, a great chance for Gundogan, but Savage sort of beats and manages to hustle it out for a corner. From the corner, a good break from Atletico, actually. And I don't know, I think we were left on Gundogan chasing down Griezmann, and somehow he did it. He sort of hassled him out of it. I think Griezmann's attempt at a pass ended up as a throw-in, so very poor from Griezmann. I thought Griezmann and Felix were pretty poor all night, although obviously they didn't get a lot of service, but when they did get the ball, they didn't look that great to me. Long may it continue, well, certainly till the end of next week anyway. 51 minutes, Ederson makes an okay save from a counter-attack, but it was offside, so I mean, that literally amounts to their stats, which we'll see at the end of, that surprised me when I looked at them, because I thought they must have had a go, but hey, that was sort of shot across. He just collected it nicely, but it was already offside. Is it Oblak, the goalkeeper, denies KDB from a free kick? He sort of lost it a little bit, but obviously he managed to kick it out before anyone could get on the rebound. 64 minutes, yeah, Laporte, I'd say header. I mean, he was leaning back, all credit to him, sort of onto the roof of the net. It was an okay chance. Perhaps he could have done a little bit better, but as I said, he thought sort of met the balls just slightly off balance, and that's why it sort of bundled onto the roof of the net. 67 minutes, Sterling was bundled down in the box, ref waves on. I've not had a chance to look back at it, guys, but we had 2 or 3 of those as well in the first half, which I think I don't think were really penalties. So no real worries about that. No real complaints. 68 minutes, of course. Pep makes a subs. That's long, isn't it? 68 minutes. It's usually 60 minutes, but 68 minutes, and it seemed to work. We had Grealish, Jesus, and Foden on for Gundo, Sterling, and Mahrez. So yeah, three of the perhaps weaker players. So Pep swapped some good fresh legs for some. Let's be honest about it. Those three guys I've just mentioned weren't really at it on the night, and I can't. We'll talk about the player ratings in a minute and the circumstances, but yeah, they're probably the best three to actually drag off at that stage. But it didn't take long, did it? That Foden inspired us. 70 minutes, nice little through ball. That's what we had to do. I mean, they had loads of men in the box, Atleti. We just need that little bit of class, didn't we, to do it? A great little. I think it went through the defender's legs into KDB's path, and he smartly put it away into the far corner across the keeper. Great goal, 1-0. And I was happy with that. It would have been nice to get a second. I mean, Savic blocks another KDB effort. Jesus was silly to get yellow card. He now isn't available for the second leg. I don't think he certainly would have started that game. He would have been useful to bring on at some stage. So that was a bit silly from Jesus. So why do we do that? And the same for Edison. Yellow for dissent because he run out. All right, we know the guy was feigning it from Laporte. Edison, just keep calm. We don't need it. All right, he's not on a suspension, but just stay calm. These guys have to be taught this. That was the 92nd minute. So it's just silly, just needless, just unwarranted. And I'll say he kept a clean sheet. And obviously that was a bit of a blemish on his day, really. These are the key stats. City 15 shots, just 2 on target. That's not great, is it? There's some blocks in there as well, but it just again, I'd say it didn't come back to Morton's last night. It managed to squeeze one in, but not great. And the stats I've got, I mean, there might be other stats different somewhere else, but Atletico, I've got no shots and no shots on target. So, as I say, and I was trying to think back, and I remember Edison collecting a couple of balls, but as I said, it might have been that offside thing. I'm not too sure, but that was pathetic from Atletico, pathetic from Simeone, in all fairness. Possession for City, 71%. I'm surprised it wasn't a little bit higher, actually. Pass completion, 90% for City. I'm happy with that. We were what's the word? We were totally just willing to pass it around and try and look for those spaces to happen. And a couple of little dinks over didn't quite work. I think that was excellent. 90% pass completion. Theirs was only 71%, which I would have thought was mainly up front when they got chances, because the finishing and the final touch from people like Griezmann and Felix was pretty awful. Right, my ratings. Yeah, there's a little bit of a caveat with this one. Stuart Brennan does the evening news ones. I've set my score at 6.5, but if a player does get less than 6.5, I'm not having a particularly downer on him. I think it just reflects on the fact he perhaps didn't have the nous to play against this particular sort of style of play, which, let's face it, we play some rubbish, don't we, in the Premiership? But this was beyond that. And so even if I give someone less than 6.5, it doesn't necessarily mean that they were that poor. It's just they didn't quite cope with the Atletico team on the night. So anyway, that's a little proviso I've put in there, guys. I thought the team as a team played very, very well. I think we tried. We never stopped trying. Say it wasn't great to watch sometimes, and it wasn't particularly City's fault, and we kept at it, and at least we got a victory, so that's fine by me. Right, I'll give Stuart's comments first, and anything I can add, I'll add to it and give the scores. Edison Stewart said, long spells of watching the action. It was from the far end, interspersed by unflustered footwork. Yeah, absolutely no problems for Edison. They didn't really press or anything like that. There's a couple of occasions I saw them do it, but nothing much. Stuart's given him a 6. I've got to give him the 6.5. No problems, average. João Cancelo, dynamic enough, says Stuart, never stopped trying, but this quality delivery and thrust in the final third were blunted. Yeah, so Stuart's given him a 6. Yeah, I've only given him a 6. He just struggled. João Cancelo is obviously being utilised as another midfielder now. He's not a defender. Unfortunately, he hasn't got the skill or little quirkiness of some of the other quality midfielders we've got, of course. I mean, it'd be unfair, it's an unfair comparison, but that's how we're playing him at the moment. So he's not quite up to that level. So yesterday, he sort of missed that 3 or 4 of his attempts to get crosses in, or attempts for that little dinks over, just didn't come off. And that's what we're going to see from Cancelo. And so no disrespect to him, but he just isn't silky enough to cope with that sort of game last night. John Stone, Stewart said, never in any real trouble at the back. He wasn't. His forays forward were a feature of City's game. He's given him a 7, yeah. I thought it was okay. I'm not going to rave over him. I thought I'd give him a 6.5. I thought it was okay. That one, he tried his luck from distance. Just forget it, mate. Don't waste your time. Don't waste our time. Try and find another City player rather than shoot like that. It was rubbish. I'm Eric Laporte. Took the Diaz role, says Stewart, of anchoring defence and performed it with calm authority. He did. I can't argue with that, but I'm not going to give anything more. I say he wasn't putting under any real pressure, and when we did come under pressure, it didn't particularly affect Laporte, I don't think. Stewart's given him a 7. I'll give him a 6.5. I think he was comfortable, and he was more comfortable, obviously, more on his natural left than what he did, obviously, in the Burnley game, where he was asked to play a bit more right. Nathan Ake, Atletico targeted him in an unusual left-back role, but he was solid and constructive, said Stewart. He's given a 7. Yeah, I've echoed that. I give him a 7. I thought it was excellent. And as Stewart said, they went for Ake. They thought that was a weakness. And 90 times out of 100, 9 times out of 10, he came out okay. And then when he did lose it, it was just one. You're not going to win every aerial battle. You're not going to win every tackle. That's just how it is. So all credit to him. I thought Ake was excellent. Rodri found Atletico's tactics stifling, says Stewart. I think we all. And that led to him giving the ball away more than normal. So Stewart's given a 6. I think a bit on Carl. I give him a 6.5. He did get involved. And as Stewart said, and I said, against that sort of tactics, he did struggle. But, hey, he's not going to face that every week. And I thought it was okay defensively as well. I thought it was fine. So I'm not going to have a down on Rodri. He's never going to create anything going forward as Fernandinho might have done. But that's just what Rodri is. Ilkay Gundogan. Stewart said his ability to arrive late in the box was stifled by Atletico's rigid defensive lines. It was, and he was taken off. Yeah, he struggled, but I'm not going to have a particular down on him. Stewart's given him a 6. I'll give him a 6.5. I thought he was okay. He was there a couple of times. Perhaps he could have done a little bit better with half chances, but I've no complaints against Ilkay last night. KDB, Stewart said, drove City forward throughout. His quality link up with Foden brought the breakthrough. Well, I think without KDB on the pitch, that would have been a 0-0. Draw, in all fairness. That little bit of magic which we needed, a great goal and a little bit of magic supplied to him by Phil, of course. But Stuart's given him an 8. I've given him my best score of the night, which is 7.5. That was, say, it was the standout, but in a very tough game. But as I say, most of the other City players didn't quite cope, but they did, because we sort of did what we were patient. That's the whole thing. And a couple of our lads lost their heads, which was unnecessary. So that was the sad thing to see. Riyad Mahrez, Stewart said, got no joy down the City right, and set-piece delivery was ordinary. He was taken off. Yeah, well, he is, yeah. Stewart's given him a 5. I'm not going to go as low as 5, but yeah, I'll give him a 6. A total lack of... I mean, he loves European games normally. He couldn't cope with that mass defence. He just couldn't get through it. Couldn't find the footwork to get past players too much. A total lack of creativity. So, yeah, I'd have to agree with Stewart. But I'm not, as I say, I'm not going to mark him particularly low because of the circumstances. Bernardo, his running was as phenomenal as ever, says Stewart. It was. And in the second half, he found the quality to go with it. Yeah, I say the second half is difficult for me because it's more up the other end. But obviously, the first half, he was very industrious, but obviously not great. He's just never working. But again, because of who we're playing, it sounds like a stuck record, but it's a fact of the game. But it was always available and coped well. And I'd have to go with Stewart there. It played reasonably well the second half without going back and watching it. So I'm going to give him a 7 because I said he did enough for that in the first half, but I noticed him more anyway. So Stewart give him a 7. I'll give him a 7. Raheem Sterling kept quiet by Velasco's robust attention and was a clear candidate for substitution when it came. Stewart's given him a 5. I didn't think it was that bad. By the second half, yeah, we did get this from Sterling. If he has a good half, he's perhaps not as lively the second half, but I thought it was okay the first half. Again, on the match itself, I thought it was all right. I'm not going to have I'm going to give him 6. I'm not going to give him 6.5, the standard, but yeah, there's little glimpses, and he did sort of fade out again. But again, as in Mahrez, not the sort of game he wants to play in. And the subs, I've not scored any of the subs because none of them were on more than 25 minutes, so I've not scored anything for those. But Stewart has. Jack Grealish for Sterling on 68 minutes. He matched Atletico's gamesmanship. He did. That's what I like to see from Jackie. He gets wound up and he likes to wind up back. So I'll have that. I'll take that all day long. Phil Foden for Mahrez on 68. He changed the game. He certainly did. A brilliant pass. If it was to Mark Foden, he'd be up there with KDB based on the facts of that pass as well. So great stuff from Foden. Jesus for Gundogan gave a focal point. So Stuart's given him a 6, yeah, apart from that silly booking he got himself, which is unnecessary. I can't really say much more than that. My man of the match, And that sticker there is by Dan Layden. We're featuring some of these now over the next few games at Dan Layden on behalf of the MCFC fans food bank support. So if you want any more details on that, give us a shout or just follow that or stick that MCFC fans food bank support into your engines and you'll find information on that. But thanks to Dan Layden, a superb image there of my man of the match, which of course was KDB again. So I think that's a couple he's had the last 2 or 3 games. And the opponents going forward, Atletico, well, they're going to have to play better at home, and I'm sure they will play better than that. I think they will sort of try and be as horrible and stymie our tactics as much as they can at their place with the fans behind them. But I think, they won't be totally disappointed with 1-0. They wanted a 0-0, let's be honest about it. They wanted a 0-0 and try to nick one. So they won't be totally happy. Simeone won't be totally happy. But hopefully their route back to the Champions League won't be by winning this, because they'll do enough over there to sort them out, and they'll have to concentrate on the league where it's not done and dusted yet that they can get a top 4 place. So they've got a few games to sort that out. So perhaps they can sort that out. But next week, I don't expect anything I expect worse from them next week. I expect more histrionics. I expect more winding ups, and this is where City will have to be very calm next week. And I just wasn't overly impressed. I don't think anyone can be overly impressed with Simeone's Atletico Madrid on the basis of what we saw last night. And we do know that's out. That's depending who he's playing, he does adopt these tactics. So I don't really care less about him. Do you guys? I used to quite like him a few years ago. But at the moment, under that manager and under that sort of style of play, no, I couldn't give a monkey's tosser, to be honest with you. And City, yeah, I say important lead. Of course, we should be good enough to go over there and at least replicate that score. I'm very, very sure we can. As I say, we just have to keep calm, keep our heads, and we don't need anything stupid like, obviously. Say it wasn't overly stupid from Jesus or Edison. It was just needless, just no need to do it. So just keep them, perhaps we will be able to bring Grealish on to wind him up even more with his hair. I know it's one of their players flicking his hair. He'd have no chance with me, would he? So, yeah. We just have to remain disciplined and do a job over there. Hopefully, possibly Diaz will be back. But even with that back four we had last night, I'll be quite confident of doing something over there. And hopefully, the big game coming up against Liverpool, we don't get any other injuries to add. And of course, for me, at this point in time, the guy who's going to make the big difference whether we win this league and whether we win a European trophy is that we have to keep him fit is KDB. It's as simple as that. He's not his extreme best, but at the moment he is standout for City. He's the focus of everything we're doing. So he has to be fit for the next 13, 14, 15 games, whatever it is, and we might be able to give him a rest or two here and there, but hopefully he doesn't pick up one of his injuries, which he does tend to do. So fingers crossed, guys, for KDB, because he is the difference between this being a successful season and being a disappointing one, in my eyes. Anyway, on to the Scousers. That'll be great. And before we go, just a couple of Twitter observations. I don't usually do this, but I thought they were quite funny. At ESPN FC, and a picture of Simeone underneath, obviously an image of all 11 Atletico Madrid players in their own box. I think one was just slightly on the edge, I think, as he was challenging the City player on the wing. But that was on 27 minutes. And I did sort of look at it and thought, yeah, well, that's how it was. And then I noticed there was only 6 City players, actually, in the image. So I did question whether the other 4 were having a spliff with Edison on the halfway line. I mean, if what were the other 4 doing? Were Atletico Madrid waiting to break? I mean, surely we could have had another couple of players up and around the box. There might have been one in the distance on that picture, but it was interesting, guys. I like that. I noticed that. I thought it's worth a mention anyway. What happened to the other? If they're going to put 10 in the box, surely we can have 8 or 9 in there as well. But that's how it is. Perhaps the best witticism of the night, I thought, was from, I just noticed this morning when I woke up, so I thought I'd share it. Simon Mullock at Mullock S. Mirror. Of course, he commented, at least we know why Man City never saw the best of Stefan Savic. Go on, tell us why, Simon. Mancini never tried him at the centre of a back 7. Could be centre of a back 10 at some time, couldn't it? But I thought that was the best bit of wit on the night, in all fairness. Anyway, join me very soon as we look forward to our big matchup, of course, the big one, the next big one with Liverpool The History Boys vlog is already out there, looking at a game back 40 years ago to the day of this encounter. Oh dear, and it sort of qualifies not just as a History Boys feature, but a horrible histories feature. So please have a look at that, guys, if you get a chance. It's all good fun. I mean, we can take the knocks, can't we? But please, I do enjoy doing these things. It's much appreciated if you can get a watch of that. So it looks back at that from 40 years ago, of course. So check out my History Boys feature, and of course will be the usual odds show. Yes, we got another win last night for the odds for the charity. My Christie's. The Christie's is a nominated charity. So another win last night with a KDB anytime goal scorer. I should have had his first goal scorer, shouldn't I? But I always bottle out of that. But more money for the Christie anyway, so that's great. So check out my odds show, see what this week's bets are for the Liverpool game. And of course, my preview show, so I can have a look at my 11 and give us your starting 11s, etc., etc. So my little preview show on the Liverpool City game, the big one. Thanks for watching, guys. So if you're there last night, hope you enjoyed it. I saw my young podcast friend Eddie. It was there last night across from Cardiff, where he's obviously at college at the moment. So it was great to see him. And he did have a half and half scarf on, but I'll forgive him. He's a big City fan, and it's just for a memory thing. And I don't mind that. I don't mind proper City fans if it's a team you never play really, like Atletico Madrid. Why not? Why not get an half and half? I don't understand this thing. But obviously, yeah, Liverpool, United, all this lot, not a cat in hell's chance, and certainly Eddie wouldn't have done. So I'll post a picture up there, I think, of it as well if I get a chance. If I ever remember, guys, I'm tired this morning, so bear with me. But it's great to see Ed anyway last night. But anyway, hope you all enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed this little vlog, guys. Leave all your comments, leave your player ratings, everything. I know you do. So always nice to hear from new people as well. So you can do that for me. Thanks for watching. I only ask one thing, don't I? Until we meet again, please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.